This is 37 Families, Season 3, Chapter 2. In this episode, we will be talking about the relationship between self-conscious impulses and projected intention. To begin, in previous episodes we talked about how concealed impulses relate only to spatial objectives. Self-conscious impulses address social-emotional goals. Self-conscious impulses generate projected intention with respect to the objects of consciousness in a person's life, which have social or emotional importance. Concealed impulses generate spatial goals and therefore generate projected intention, which is spatial. Thus, from this we can see that the objects of consciousness within a person's life, which have social-emotional relevance, are objects for which action projects intention, which is self-conscious in nature. Likewise, objects of consciousness also have a spatial dimension for which concealed impulses project intention. From this we can see that the particular objects of consciousness, which have social-emotional importance, provide the field which corresponds to a person's ability to project intention in his environment and thereby generate collisions or intersections which accrue or denude momentum through social intersection. From this we can see that spatial objects within a field of action correspond to a person's ability to project intention in his environment spatially, which accrue or denude momentum through social intersection. The telescopic effect shows that fields which correspond to a person's ability to project intention in his environment and thereby generate collisions or intersections which accrue or denude momentum overlap. This means that lateral alters share common fields corresponding to distinct spatial objects, with similar social-emotional importance relative to the actor. Although spatially our ability to project intention is individual, our self-conscious fields of action are stacked. Likewise, the telescopic effect proves that global actors, although social-emotionally stacked upon local actors, determine the particular affirmational narratives locally through global action. Although the extent of affirmation is subject to local momentum transfers, by consequence of displacement of projected intention, the narratives, which are attenuated or exaggerated by the momentum transfers, are determined globally. That is to say, that the interactions between local actors which emit, mirror interactions globally, by virtue of the stacking of their objects of consciousness of social-emotional importance. All of this is to say, that there is vertical symmetry between local and global. This symmetry arises out of the telescopic effect. Since we know that displacement of the projected intention of self-conscious impulses generates positive momentum transfers, corresponding to affirmation and thus emission. And we know that concealed impulses generate negative momentum transfers through negation. We know that it is the attachment of affirmation to the objects of consciousness within the global field of action, which determines the content of local affirmational narratives. It is the quality of the momentum transfers according to the displacement of projected intention within the global, amidst the social-emotional field, which determines the affirmational narratives for the system as a whole. That's the end of the podcast for today.